This is the face of battle, modern war in Ukraine. A grenade attached to a commercially made drone before being sent on its way. These Ukrainian soldiers allowed us access to a position several hundred meters from their enemy as they hunted them. Now they're stepping up the accuracy of their attacks with custom-made FPV or first-person video drones.
Here we have an assortment of FPV drones, so those are different manufacturers. Some are Ukrainian made.
Yuri flies them, searching for the highest value targets he can find.
We are aiming for big guns like, for example, a gas 17 or
That's a grenade launcher.
Yeah, automated grenade launcher and SPH.
Self-propelled gun.
Yes, a self-propelled gun, something like that. And then comes in the lower priority, so just regular troops.
2 years ago, would you have ever imagined you would be doing this?
Oh no, God's sake, no. But what can we do? We can only fight and protect our land. I just wanted to stop and for our neighbors to go away.
52nd year, but looks like new. It's like a Second World War.
We watched as the 24th Brigade's drone company armed a variety of munitions ready to launch at the Russians, trying to raise the pain level. They're just going to arm up a couple of these. They gave us clips of that day's strikes, using airdrop munitions and then flying their FPV drones into trenches and windows to kill those taking cover. But just as these men are hunters, they're also being hunted. The 24th Brigade artillery often relies on drones to find its targets. But that works in reverse too, and the guns have to be well camouflaged because the Russians are hunting them, as we soon discovered. So we were expecting a fire mission within 5 minutes, and then word came down on the radio to stand down because a Russian drone has been sighted somewhere near here. And that's really very typical of what's been happening, a constant battle of wits, a deadly battle of wits. These Russian videos show the threat, that spotters overhead cue a Lancet missile onto Ukrainian artillery, and that as soon as it's fired, it's destroyed. After a tense half hour, the Ukrainian battery commander is given the go-ahead to engage his target. The 152mm howitzer is loaded and its barrel trained onto the right bearing and elevation. No sooner is the shell on its way than we're told to get away from the gun position as soon as we can. We get back to our vehicle.
So let's go.
Yeah.
Past locals apparently oblivious to the fact a Russian shell will soon be heading back.
Where was the incoming?
There, look, the smoke.
Oh yeah, I've seen the smoke. Yeah.
It explodes about 300 meters from us. We've had a small taste of the stress these soldiers have to put up with for months. For the battle in this part of the Donbass is largely about long-range killing with artillery. At the brigade casualty clearing station, a soldier's been brought in. The medics do their survey, but it's apparent that he isn't physically injured. It's described as a panic attack following an artillery bombardment. He's sedated, and the doctors grow nervous that our presence might attract interest to this place. We've had to leave the medical centre because the doctors were worried that our presence at the medical centre might make it a target. The battle in eastern Ukraine has become a dreadful endurance test. The 24th Brigade provided some of the troops that took part in the year-long struggle for Bakhmut. Their drone company captured these images of a battle that's claimed tens of thousands of lives. This company is one of those that's been pulled back from the trenches to be rebuilt after those recent fights. New arrivals were being integrated with those who emerged from Bakhmut. But as one of the medics who treated them explained, the survivors had been deeply marked by the experience.
I was like a witness of this trauma because I was in a medical company, and the guys who was wounded came to us, and those people who was like lightly injured, not so bad, we can speak with them, and like almost 5 from 10 men was with some not only physical injuries but psychological too. Their speech was very fast. They don't recognize even their friends, and sometimes they don't understand what we say even. They hear us but can't respond.
Because of the heavy bombardments?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yes.
because of this. It was shelling every time when our guys take to Russian positions. The best target for Russians is their positions.
If the front line has moved little this summer in this part of the east, that's in part because Russia can still overmatch Ukraine in many ways.
These bombs, like with metal pieces plus TNT.
We went to the drone company quarters, where another Yuri, a young venture capitalist from Kiev, told me how he volunteered for the army and what they need to do to outwit the Russians.
They have a lot more. It's like a factory manufacturing. This is thousands and thousands of drones, while Ukraine, as for now, only starting to make such drones in a big quantities.
Can you see yourself going back to finance now, or is this too absorbing for the foreseeable future?
Why not? As for now, our prime target is to make our country safe, to back our lands, and after that we can do what we did.
I suspect the pay as a soldier is a bit less than in the finance world.
Much more less, yes.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
This was heralded by President Zelensky as the year of victories. But although there have been some gains south of here, in general progress has been slow, not least because it's so hard to advance in this war without being spotted and shelled. What do you think of them, of the Russians, after 18 months of this war? Do you hate them? Do you respect them? I mean, what are your feelings about them as an enemy?
Їх не можна не поважати, їх потрібно поважати і правильно оцінювати. Тому що якщо ми будемо їх недооцінювати, ми програємо. Як людей, які приймають рішення проводити настільки жорстокі дії на теренах всієї України, то це зневага. Тобто це тисячі, десятки, а то й сотні тисяч вбитого цивільного населення. Тобто це, тут, можливо, це зневага. А щодо росіян, які це все бачать і терплять це всередині країни, і розуміють, що це буде там нести на них, це буде великим тягаром, який буде на всі їхні нації на подальші роки, це, мабуть, втрата будь-якої надії, що вони щось можуть змінити в себе в країні. Мабуть, от так.
At the gun position, meanwhile, it's time to reload. This howitzer is nicknamed Babushka by its crew because it's getting on a bit. And the shells we saw were made 40 years ago. And just as the demands of this conflict mean all serviceable weapons must be pressed into action, so the gun commander is a 52-year-old trained to do this decades ago for the Soviet army, who volunteered to serve again. What was your family's reaction when you went to serve? Did they say, forgive me, you're too old, let other people do it? How did people react?
Плакали. Мовчки плакали і все. Казали, чекаємо, любимо, вертайся. Таким чином.
With the summer coming to a close without either side able to claim victory, the brigade, its families, and Ukrainians more widely must steel themselves for another winter. Given the sacrifices made so far, that's a lot to ask, but it's not something the soldiers here see any alternative to.